Well, it's the first official week of fall, and going into the fall and winter months, we're not exposed to the sun as much as we usually are in the summer, right?
Absolutely.
And so have you heard of something called seasonal affective disorder?
Yes, the acronym we talk about, SAD.
Yes.
You feel sad. But it's amazing the lack of sunlight really does make a big play in that.
Right, yes. And when you think about sunlight and your health, a lot of times you attribute that to vitamin D. And vitamin D actually acts more like a hormone in your body.
Yeah.
So when you're exposed to ultraviolet rays, your body will convert that in the liver to an active form of vitamin D, which is really good for your bones and for calcium absorption. And so, you know, as we get older, maybe after women in menopause, you really want to focus on your vitamin D intake so you don't get osteoporosis.
Sure.
Same
a lot
thing.
of health benefits.
Absolutely, yes. So vitamin D, that's what we're talking about today. And there are a lot of ways that you can get it through food. So that's what we want to focus on going into the fall and winter months so we can ward off SAD.
Yes.
And vitamin D is actually also known as your happy vitamin. So it's going to be found in a lot more of fat foods because it's a fat soluble vitamin.
Yeah.
So we'll start over here, and these are things that you see in the grocery store and maybe that you commonly get when you load up at the grocery store. Lots of dairy products, so milk, and also if you are lactose intolerant, milk alternatives like almond milk will have vitamin D fortified to it as well. And bran flakes is one of the only ready-to-eat cereals that will actually have vitamin D added to that. So you can have a cup of cereal or bowl of cereal with your almond milk or skim milk, and that will give you a little bit of a boost of vitamin D through food.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, I was just going to say that's kind of starting your day off on the right note, but as you go through, and I noticed you got the pills here. Explain what the vitamin D supplements are. Yeah,
so the vitamin D supplement is already in the active form of vitamin D. And as you can see, this is the one I actually take. I'm going to start taking it here soon because I know that I leave when the sun is rising, and then I come home when the sun is setting. So this is 2,000 units of vitamin D. I would suggest maybe checking in with your provider to see where your vitamin D levels are, and then maybe talking with the dietitian or your provider to see how much you should be taking.
You touched on something very important about why now may be the time to do that, so that we don't wait until those dark winter months, December and January, kind of when you're already dealing with that holiday stress. If you start doing this now, it seems like you're not going to get to that point where you're down there.
Absolutely, yeah. And so if you start now, I would suggest maybe 2,000 units every other day, or if you do know that you are prone to have a high vitamin D level, then maybe every other day or once a week. Some people are severely deficient and they need a prescription dose of 50,000 units per week, but that's something that you have to get from your doctor.
All right, let's dive into dinner.
Yes, dinner, so you can have some mushrooms with your dinner, with some salmon or some tuna as well, or any kind of fatty fish will also have a high amount of vitamin D in it as well. Again, it's a fat-soluble vitamin, so it's good to be eaten with fats as well. So, and also I didn't mention this, but orange juice for those kiddos, it's also fortified in vitamin D as well. And fortified just means it's not naturally there, so it's added to it.
Perfect. Little olive oil with this, may I recommend?
Absolutely. Yes, Nate. Good job. And if you have a question or topic you'd like me to cover, send us an email at pressreleases@ktbs.com, and keep it here for more news and weather on the way.